I don't think it's any bit of a stretch to tell you guys that, you know, I don't care that this woman here got quote unquote muffed by Corey Holcomb. Right? That's how he's describing it. I viewed the CCTV footage of their altercation. Right? This is a failed comedian. The name escapes me at the moment and shit, and I don't even feel like looking up her name to quantify this bullshit. Right? I don't feel like looking up her name to quantify this bullshit. I want to talk about how I feel about her situation and the fact that she's probably going to sue him. She's going to sue him and shit. Her lawsuit with the CCTV footage, helpfully provided by TMZ, will bolster her claims that she'll probably get a check from Corey Holcomb. Okay? She'll probably get a check from him. It's not really a check she deserves, but it's a check he deserves to pay and shit for getting out of character with the obvious bottom feeder. Okay? So I'm looking at they're not going to talk about this, but, I'm looking at the CCTV footage and I see them going back and forth before Corey comes in the frame aggressively and puts his hand in her face, muffs her, quote unquote, hits her in the face. Okay? Now, I don't know what he said about it initially and shit. I think he said he had witnesses and she was harassing him and shit. He presented one of his witnesses on camera and shit, which I didn't agree with and shit, considering upcoming litigation this could hurt his case and shit, as far as that witness goes. Right? His testimony could become insolvent and shit because he appeared on this podcast beforehand and he gave up the ghost, man. I'm like, hey, when you're getting ready for a fucking fight and shit, you don't call the enemy camp or, and tell them everything you're gonna do or shit, what you're doing over there in your training camp and shit. So, just having this down here just to, play badminton and shit verbally with a woman that's obviously thinks she's gonna win mentally speaking and shit, it's a bust, okay? It's a bust. The check always comes due. And now Corey Holcomb is in what I like to call the Cosby playbook and shit. And it's gonna continue, all right? It's gonna continue. But, I want to talk about the woman today, right? She's supposed to be a comedian, all right? And so I looked up her. I looked her up online and shit. She is some sort of comedian and shit. I even seen a picture of her with the greatest megaphone, Chris Rock and shit. And I just had a static reaction to it. I don't feel like she has any real talent and shit, right? I feel like she's just there. She's looking for a bag and shit. She don't want to work for a living. I don't know the woman at all. Okay, everything I say based on what I see, right? Based on allegations and shit. It looks like somebody trying to get by on their box and her skin tone. Okay, now I look at the CCTV footage and I see them going back and forth, and it looks like people behaving badly, collectively speaking and shit. You got a lot of adults and shit in their 40s just standing around and shit, and I understand. I recognize the whole setup, from Chicago, where I'm from, born and raised, right? Well, it's supposed to be raised. Yeah, I'm looking at it and shit, and I'm like, why are these old people just standing out here like they're in front of the liquor store, blasting each other verbally and shit? And then she's just, her body language is exaggerated, right? So I know she's saying crazy shit to this guy to get a rise out of him and shit. See, I look at women doing this kind of shit as a problem, like an insurance liability, okay? I know the playbook. I know this fucking playbook like the back of my hand, and I experienced it so much in life and shit that it's become old hat to me, getting out of that situation. All right? These women know how to say shit that will make you want to knock their fucking head off, want to tear their fucking head off and bounce it like and do a crossover with it. And she knew that too. And I think she's crazy. Okay? Not about, as far as this situation, whatever, ducks in a row. The mission was accomplished to get Corey out of character and then have some kind of altercation so that she could file a frivolous lawsuit and shit when she knows she was verbally antagonizing a man. If I was the judge, I would classify this shit as mutual combat and shit. I would want to have as much CCTV footage and whatever footage somebody captured on their phone so that I can hear audio and shit. Audio is very important, all right, to some people. Not so much black men, right? We're the most oppressed class of people on the planet. I'm talking exclusively about foundational black American men and shit, right? In this country, 3Ks and set, right? I titled this video the way I titled it and shit because it's true, right? It's true. It's not just because I'm from the shy or whatever. It's just the true in general. And down here in the concrete jungle and shit is just how bitches get shot, okay? I was annoyed by the CCTV footage. Not just because Corey got out of character, but because she was antagonizing him. She was really antagonizing the fuck out of him and shit. Well, he's a grown man, he should be able to take it, right? We're all big boys. That's what they tell us and shit. But we're supposed to be sensitive to their fucking needs and protect quote unquote black women. Well, I like to say protect quote unquote hashtag black women. Protect black women and shit. Alright? I don't give a fuck that she got quote unquote mugged or punched in the face. I don't care because I know she was priming the pump on that thing. Okay, she was repeatedly antagonizing him. He fell for the shit. He fell for the okie doke. You get no star for that shit, Corey. Okay, fell for the okie doke. That's how bitches get shot. And then I saw when he came in and he extended his hand and shit to her face. The other guy that was with her just started windmilling on him, like hitting him and shit. He was wildly swinging for the fences and shit, right? It's not really designed to, hit a guy, to actually punch Corey and shit. But, he's doing this exaggerated actions because she's watching and shit. Okay, dudes don't be hitting each other like that and shit unless he's zesty or something. But he was wildly windmilling on Corey and shit. I don't know what happened. They went out of frame and shit. I don't know if Corey was jumping back on the guy. I doubt it because the police weren't involved apparently, which would allow her and her white knight, I guess, to file a proper claim and shit, right? Now I'm tired of bullshit. She's looking for a bag, right? And I don't care that she got hit in the face. I don't give a fuck that she got hit in the face. All right, I'm not gonna go so far as to say I believe she deserved it and shit. I believe Corey should have had adequate security and shit. I don't care if it's just some street bum, some guy, man. Just get a big guy and shit. That guy that used to work for Diddy, man, can get him a call up and go to the club with her fucking ass. Wherever you know this motherfucker gonna be at and shit. You get your phone out and film her talking shit, and just have a giant motherfucker there. And you get enough footage and shit, do like a week or something, 3 days over there and shit, and get enough footage of her and file a restraining order on her fucking ass. Okay, you can file a restraining order. You gotta go to court for that shit. Okay, I mean, you go to the courthouse and shit, file it there. But file a restraining order and say that she's stalking you. File a police report. To get to extreme and shit. And it seemed pretty extreme, right? This woman has no, she don't have no talent and shit. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I watched her stand up and laugh and shit. It's just be ironic and shit because part of me would be cynical and think that like all the times that she got into any kind of comedy show that wasn't an improv, that she was on her hands and knees and shit, using one end or other. Okay, right? I don't care. I don't care. I don't feel shit when I watch that. Right? I've been on the receiving end of so much female cruelty that you would find it astounding and shit on all fucking levels and shit. But a good chunk of that shit would be emotional abuse and cruelty and shit. I am old hat at that, right? And I frustrate people with my reactions to attempted emotional abuse or handling or, in her case, tone policing and shit while assaulting you verbally, right? It's emotional violence. She was committing that shit. He was assaulting his ass and shit, and then Corey got out of character, and he made himself look less man and shit, which is the plan. Okay, it's funny how this shit popped up a week after he was going at it with Anton Daniels and shit. So I'm just like, who else is coming now? I think Tony Busby might be in this future and shit, and a bunch of hoes that he dealt with and shit. Because Corey said that he like to deal with low end women and shit. He felt it was safe because you could just give them the money and shit and go about your business and shit. But you can't just give them the motherfucking money and shit. You're dealing with vultures. You're dealing with bottom feeders, roaches and shit, okay? All right, this ain't no racial dig. I'm black myself. These people want money. They want easy money. They want what they used to call it, like racist people in, over there in the Los Angeles court system used to talk about black people lawsuits, and they called it a ghetto lottery ticket. Yeah, this chick won a ghetto lottery ticket. She won a bag. All they want is a fucking bag, and she's crazy. Now she gonna do fuck that money off anyway. Now pull that shit they pull on black people and shit. What you gonna do with that money, huh? The court write her a fucking check. I would say make her sign like a stringent NDA where she can't do interviews about that shit or talk about it anyway, but she'll break that contract easy. We've seen it a bunch of times and shit. They don't care. Melanated women do not give a fuck about, contracts or legalities and shit, litigation. They don't care about that shit. Black men are Dred Scott forever. We're branded with that shit. We're 1/3 of a man or some bullshit. And even now, even though they don't say it, we don't go into it, they feel that way and shit. Okay? Corey, you're gonna have to start writing some checks. Okay? Now you better call your fucking lawyer and shit. Get on deck. Call your lawyer and get on deck and shit. Don't refer to this woman again. That, in another video I said I didn't have any advice and shit, but I do have a little advice and shit. Don't refer to her monkey ass again and shit. Don't give her nothing. She want to come up off your name. I've seen so many thumbnails from so many other content creators that involve your face married with her face and shit. I even put one up, okay? And I did that for context and shit, okay? Other content creators, specifically women, melanated women, are coming for your head now because you were seen putting her in that sacrilegious. Even if she came up to you and stabbed your ass and shit, and you retaliated physically, you would be in the wrong in a certain community and shit. Okay, you have no fucking right to it. They see it, all right? But you do have money and means to, employ a lawyer and shit for its greatest effect, and I think you should do that. I don't think you should show any more of your quote-unquote witnesses, okay? And stop hanging around on the streets. Don't do that kind of shit. Corey Holcomb and shit, okay? Maybe you're not as big as other comedians and shit, but you're big enough that you're a target, all right? You got people to think about, and you think about yourself and how you feel right now. I bet you got egg on your face like a motherfucker because of that CCTV footage, all right? You can't talk your way out of that, okay? I'm not escorting you for that. I don't care that you muffed the woman in the face. I don't give a shit. Okay? I think that, controversially, while she was talking, her man should have dragged her away. And then she could have been fighting him, and then she would have been, she ain't calling the cops on him and shit. He just gonna get verbally abused and shit. And dragged right back into the system. Okay? Right? Now, I'm a black baggot, and she talking all that shit up. Her bag should be put over her head, and you should run away while that shit on her head. If she snatch it off, she don't know where your ass is. They'll do the whole Batman thing. Like, where that nigga go? He's just gone. Yeah, I said the N-word. Where'd he go? He just vanished. Yeah, I was trying to abuse him to get some money and shit. I'm trying to verbally abuse this man until I want him to get so emotionally upset that he just hauls off and give me a good one and shit. That I could get a frivolous lawsuit shit. How many times this woman probably been socked up and shit by some pookie, a rolled back guy, just like body slammed or some shit, and she just down there crying, and the dude secretly laughing on the inside because she's a narcissist and a sociopath. Right? And fuck TMZ. Fuck TMZ. I want to talk about that in another video and shit. Fuck TMZ for this shit, okay? They doing their job. Okay? See, Corey's doing too many sermons on this show and saying truths and speaking truths and shit, including that whole deal with Cam Newton. And some people got offended by it and shit because they want black people to stand with their perceived place and shit at the bottom of this society and shit. Right? While they profit off us and shit. Alright? They won't want you to be nothing and they want you to pay for it and shit. And sometimes when people tell you that and shit, they get upset and they go after those people and destroy them. Okay? It sucks, right? And then they play the victim too while they're doing all this bullshit. And they have agents of chaos like this woman here, okay? Plain and simple. Anyway, that's been my thoughts on it. I don't care if she got muffed or punched in the face. I don't care because I saw her out there. She was the only woman. Looked like she was the only woman out there. It was a bunch of old ass dudes, younger than me, but old enough to know better and shit, standing around like they in the schoolyard and shit, and she over there, running her mouth and shit, and nobody closed ranks. Like, so over 4 to 6 people out there, and nobody thought to obscure her view of Corey with their own bodies and shit, and just keep standing there so she can't see him and shit. She'll get frustrated and leave, but try to fuck with more than one guy and shit. That's not gonna go well for her and her quote unquote boyfriend and shit. He ain't going to go in there with more than one person and shit. There was Corey's friend. They would have got between him and the woman and shit when she started running her mouth and waving her arms around and saying all that bullshit. And by the way, just to throw an olive branch out there, the woman fucked up her case too by going on Tasha K's show and telling Tasha K what she was saying to Corey and shit. All the crazy shit she was saying. She had no business talking to this man. Right? She's talking to him. She was infantilizing his ass verbally and shit, even though he's crazy. She was infantilizing him, trying to tone police him and all that bullshit. He didn't go for it and shit. And, he got muffed. Okay? Maybe she didn't get muffed hard enough. Who knows? Who cares? Hey, she get a free paycheck and shit. But, I don't know. I think we should employ the same tactics that a certain religious subset of the minority majority employees and shit. And somebody should make some calls and shit around to all them comedy clubs and make sure she can't go in there no more. Okay? When she get that check, I'm like, you save that shit and break pieces off her little crumbs to live for the rest of your motherfucking life. You don't really deserve shit. Okay? You don't want to work for a living and shit. You want to be taken care of and shit. You don't even deserve it. You don't look good enough. You're close to wall and you're busted and shit. And I know how this sounds and shit, but what can I really say and shit? And if I say how I really feel, this video gets taken down. Okay? I say how I really feel. Don't be like Corey, people. Okay? Don't get out of character with these goofy chicks, man. Because it's an insurance liability and shit. It's like a virus, man. Right? As soon as you start doing all that shit, your downfall comes. Okay? That's just the way it's set up. Right? But if the majority does it, like somebody like Joe Rogan slapping up his wife and karate chopping that bitch, they look the other way. And this never seems to get on you people's nerves enough to follow suit and just, close ranks when women come around trying to force themselves in your circle. She has no business being over there talking to Corey Holcomb and shit. No business. It don't matter what her issues are. She has no business. She can go pull herself up by her bootstraps and shit and, try to figure out what she want to do with her life and shit. But she want an easy payday. Thanks. Send TMZ that cut it at Corey's money. All right? And before the other voters come for his ass and shit. Because now they're coming and shit. The only real true reason they're coming after Corey is because he was giving advice to black men and shit. He was giving credible, competent advice to black men and explaining things to them and shit about the nature of the disposable women in our community and shit. And they didn't like it and shit. They don't so much care about black women as care about keeping a certain narrative going about how we're lesser than, right? Which is a shame considering a whole community, a wealthy community that's built on the self-victimization and all that bullshit, while they deny everyone else's experience and shit, even our identity as a race, right? I ain't got nothing really else to say to this woman. I just don't give a fuck. You are a bottom feeder, darling. Okay? Alright? You're at the bottom of the barrel. You're beneath Corey Holcomb. Shit. But he has to pay you, probably, more likely. Okay? Hey, make sure you send TMZ that cut. Okay, Ho?
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs, and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.